Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
Now, today we're going to talk about the pro-choice agenda to erase Christian civilization, which was an article that was in the Alive magazine. And we're also going to talk a bit about the Rosary Crusade, which was not covered in the media. So we'll start off with the Alive magazine.
Yes, this is the November issue of the Alive magazine, which is distributed mostly in Catholic churches and also in certain newsagents.
It's also distributed. We get it here.
There you are. So
Yes.
people must bring it around,
Yes,
which is great.
that's
That's a picture of the Blessed Virgin and our Saviour Jesus, or the White Saviour Jesus, and the headline here is "Real Pro-Choice Agenda to Abolish Christian Morality and Civilization." That's the real agenda. Now, there's an article that refers to it in the magazine, Pro-Choice Aim, Raise Christian Civilization. I'll just read a small bit. Pro-choice campaigners are trying to tell the rest of us something very important, what it is they want, but we're not listening. So we don't grasp that the future of Christian civilization in our country is the real issue at stake. We note first the wide diversity of individuals and groups in the pro-choice movement, with Catherine Zappone, Minister for Children, a bizarre presence among them. They range from newspaper editors, journalists and TV presenters to politicians, trade unionists, several rights groups, the gay lobby, state-funded feminist outfits, big corporations, US billionaires and so on. Even college students, from whom we might have expected a flicker of rebellion, have cheerfully conformed to the establishment agenda. What common aim has this wide variety of groups and individuals? At present, the pro-choice movement is set on repealing the 8th Amendment. Its further aim is to legalise the killing of unborn children, especially those conceived in rape or who are disabled or seriously ill. The campaign, however, is not primarily about abortion or law, nor women's rights or well-being, nor is it just to protect killer doctors. The agenda that unites all these activists is far more radical. They demand a new morality in society. They seek to replace the objective or natural law morality backed by the Catholic Church and to find Christian civilization and to end Christian civilization based on that morality. For 400 years, European thinkers have tried to provide such a replacement morality. All that has come of their great efforts, however, is the intellectually shabby notion of pro-choice. Now, there's more, but I think you got a flavour of it there.
Absolutely.
I've spoken about this in the Christian and Jobs Action Party videos in the past. The movement of the pro-choice, with the support of the media in this country, particularly the state broadcaster, which is whinging morning, noon and night, threatening fines and perhaps jail if people don't pay the licence fee. This organisation is very in the forefront of the pro-choice movement. And spokespeople for that organisation are on their programmes morning, noon and night. Their presenters also support this pro-choice agenda, as they supported the gay lobby and the passing of the so-called marriage equality, so as people of the same sex, male and female, can get married to each other. Now, so this is the agenda. They've been successful there, so they've reckoned that they can get the abortion passed by misleading and confusing the people. Catholic and Christian papers are trying to address the problem, and the pro-choice, and the pro-life, and the various organisations trying to deal with this issue and trying to get their point of view across. It has been quite clear that, for example, the Oireachtas Committee had 25 to 30 pro-choice people on there in the interview, and only about 3 pro-life. So the imbalance is clearly there, and we can expect the wording when it does take place next year, that it will be in such a way as to confuse the people. It'll be worded in some ways about talking about what would I call it? It would be something like pro women and for their health and well-being and so on and so forth. It'll be worded in some way that will make it difficult, and people won't have heard the news about it.
It's like the word they use for the gay marriage referendum, the word equality. I mean, how could anybody go against the idea of equality?
And this is a word they use, but they misuse it, the meaning of it.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the Rosary Crusade. You say that was on recently. I haven't heard anything about it.
No, and neither has anyone else, except the people that were at the Rosary Crusade throughout the country. I was at a conference in Limerick on Saturday, an annual conference organised by the Catholic Voice magazine and attended by over 600 people. As a matter of fact, there was more wanted to go, but there wasn't enough room. Cardinal Raymond Burke, an Irish-American cardinal and very active in the pro-life movement in this country and throughout the world, spoke, as did other speakers. Now, the Rosary Crusade started on Sunday at 2:30. In Limerick, there was two groups of about 100 people or more saying the Rosary and singing hymns at different parts of the River Shannon. In Donegal, there was upwards of 30 groups at the seaside reciting the Rosary, and throughout the country. Now, there would have been thousands doing this important, seeking Our Lady's help to defeat the forces of evil that are trying to inflict abortion in this country when it was already rejected in 1983 by a massive majority, and now they're seeking to come back in with it again. So you can take it that it was not, this Rosary Crusade or the conference was not reported by this national media, RTE, which purports to represent people. It does certainly not represent the Catholic people in this country, and the people should not pay the licence fee to such an organisation.
Which is RTE you're talking about?
Which is not reflecting the views as I've just indicated. No mention of the Rosary Crusade and no mention of the conference in Limerick attended and by Cardinal Raymond Burke, who spoke at it and presided.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it there, John, on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.